Tell me about this undertaking you did here in the Isle of Man, please.
It all started with an idea. I was walking with my father-in-law, who was visiting us to the Isle of Man, having had a good breakfast. We walked about 20 minutes, half an hour, and he said, "Oh, that must have got rid of our breakfast." And I started explaining to him how difficult it is to lose that amount of food he's eaten, and it takes a good 20 minutes to lose about a couple of biscuits. Therefore, whenever we eat something, it's a bit strange that we have to do much more than to burn that calories. So a sandwich would take you maybe 40 minutes to burn, and so on. And he found that very interesting, and we got into a conversation, and he suggested that why don't I do a study about it to prove what I've said. And I approached the Isle of Man Medical Research Committee, which is a charity, and presented my idea to them, and they agreed to fund it. And this was last year in May. We got recruits through newspapers, radio, and we got 600 volunteers. We took consent from 400, put them in 2 different groups, 200 each. Unfortunately, not all the volunteers completed the study. There was a large dropout, and we landed up only with about 120 people completing the study for the full 6 months. In that, what we did was we divided them in 2 groups. In one group were calorie counting and doing food diaries and getting weighed every 2 months. The other group was doing exactly the same. They both had a 2-hour session with myself and the dietitian, but they were also, along with calorie counting, writing down what I have called WBC, standing for walk to burn calories. So if they were to eat an apple, it would say that is 15 minutes of walk, so they would write 15 minutes. We didn't ask them to walk, but they would just have to write how much it would take time to walk that item. So the idea is, the hypothesis is that our food labeling at the moment is too confusing, too many things on it, in small print which you can't see. There's calorie counts, there's fiber, there's glycemic index, there's salts and fats and so on in it. And instead, well, I wouldn't say instead, but in addition to it, a stamp of, say, a size of a 20p coin, which says WBC 30, WBC 45. So when you go to a shop and there's 2 sandwiches there, or 2 bags of crisps, one bag of crisps says 30, WBC 30, and the other bag says 45, then you may wish to choose the one which says 30. And hence you would know that it will take me 30 minutes to walk off that bag of crisps. And that will psychologically, or it will make you want to choose the one which has less to burn off, and will change your eating habits and your wish to eat that item.
It just sounds so simple, an idea almost, really, doesn't it? I mean, it wouldn't take much for manufacturers to put that sort of information on. Where do you go then from having this survey and done this now? Will it go to the manufacturers?
Well, this if we had the statistical significance between the 2 groups. Now, both the groups fortunately lost weight, and statistical significantly lost weight. Both of them lost 9 kilograms on an average, that is 2 stones, and they lost 4 inches from their waist, or that's 10 centimeters. So both of them did very well. Now, the group which was doing their walk to burn calories, the WBC, did slightly better than the other group, but because the numbers were not that much, it didn't show statistical significance. So we cannot yet prove this 100%. So I intend to recruit a further 200 people to give them this idea and plan, and then come up with statistical significance. Though I must say, the 60 people who completed this study, we brought them back and we gave them questionnaires and we asked them about what they thought, and we had 95% feedback saying that this was an excellent idea for people who practically did it for 6 months continuously. They say it's a splendid idea, it should be part of labeling, and it made them change their diet and their choices, and it's now making them think whenever they buy something. So these people who have practically done it for 6 months think it's a splendid idea.
So let's talk about chocolate. Digestive chocolate biscuit, one of those, just one, how long would it take to walk that off?
I'm afraid it'll take you 20 minutes of a brisk walk to work off, as if you've never eaten that digestive biscuit.
Okay, a two-finger sort of, I don't want to say, I don't want to say a trade name, two-finger bar with
a chocolate bar.
A chocolate bar.
A light chocolate bar, you take about 30 minutes.
Okay. Then take us through some other things which have stood out, which probably people don't really expect them to be as big a deal as they are.
People argue about cola drinks, whether to take the full fat Coke or, well, not Coke, or cola.
Actually, cola's all right.
People argue about whether to take a diet cola or a full fat cola. I would ask them to take a 0-1, because you're talking of 77 minutes to burn off one can of cola.
And the other items you got there?
A jacket potato with cheese, I'm afraid, is about an hour and a half.
And was the toast as well you had?
Yes. An ordinary 2 toasts with margarine and jam, which you'd not think of much. That will take you about 70 minutes.